Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dig in because it's draped in gold. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined by Flobo Boyce, and boy, have we got a show for you. Flobo, how have
Yo,
you been, pal?
man, it was great. After we did Draped and Go last week and I unfollowed Jack Farmer on social media, I went out to Cleveland last weekend. It was kind of a fun trip. Got to see some baseball games. Saw SmackDown live. I didn't know that was going to be the same time I was in town. It was interesting all around.
Do you like it when we have our display names on?
I don't mind either way.
Let's do some real time figuring out of this show.
That's professional. Hey, what do you think?
What do you think? Let's ask you in the chat. Display names. You like it? Headlines.
By the way, super chats are enabled, so please pop a calls in the chip jar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, specifically, if you want to use a super chat, that'd be really cool. We're doing this thing. We're trying to collect as many super chats as we can.
Yeah, because you actually can see them unlike the Wrestling Inc. days where they went over to the ether.
Yeah, where they help to add new floors to Static Media Tower. So that's right.
The tower.
We already got some folks chatting it up. Always good to see you guys. Appreciate Shades.
Crunk Chocolate's in the house.
Crunk Chocolate in the house. Ricky Zaldivar. Kayla Roney. How do I say your last name, Kayla?
I think that's Roney. That's 1-0. That's 1-0. That's a Roney.
Hi, guys. Flobo, how was Ohio? You were missed.
Cleveland was great. That's a city that I didn't think much of, to be honest with you, but it was great. Architecture was amazing. Cincinnati, absolute pain to get in and out of. Like, it is a black hole in the American landscape. But hey, look, at least the ice cream was great. Shout out to Graders.
I was there for Monster Jam a few months back, and it was in the middle of an icy snowstorm, and I was frigid the whole time.
Cincinnati?
So I was crabby. Yeah. And it was, look, I don't like cold, Flobo. And for anyone who was wondering, cold is when you get below 65 degrees. That is cold.
Are you mad at ice? Your bottom half is like an ice sculpture.
Anything below 65 is cold, Flobo.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on if it gets above 79.
Bro, you're just like house cat. Man, yeah. Cincinnati, dude, like it's like a weirdly sized town where the airport is big, but not big enough. I was stuck in northern Kentucky for 19 hours because my plane got delayed a day and a half after I was supposed to leave there. I was like, never again.
Yeah. Well, we're going to chat about that trip because you were actually at SmackDown this week. And at SmackDown, of course, they had the Hulk Hogan Memorial Tribute as they did on Raw. They did on NXT, and AEW in their own way had a tribute on Collision for Hulk Hogan. We don't need to get into all the problems Hulk Hogan had and the things he said and the things he did.
Can I just make this to a promoted moment? I actually went into depth about that on justasandwich.com, but continue.
Yeah, go ahead and check out justasandwich.com to see Flobo just bury somebody.
What? Super kick. Yeah.
Look, Hogan was not a perfect person. He's very
complex
perfect.
Man.
Look, complex man is our quick way of saying he did some horrible things and said some horrible things. We're not going to dance around about it. He did, but we're not going to also belabor the point. I want to talk about the way that he was honored. What was your thoughts being in the stadium and seeing this, but then also just your thoughts on the way it was handled in the wrestling community?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, before SmackDown started, my section, of course, it's a WWE event, so I could only afford the tippy top, the cheap seats. Mm-hmm. I was way out there, man. I was on the roof. Everyone in my section kind of knew what Hogan was about, and we were all curious about what was going to happen. Were we going to boo? Were we going to cheer? But what ended up happening, which I really got to give the credit to the city of Cleveland, is that those who love Hogan had their chance to cheer and support the man. And those who were the fans of Hulk Hogan and what he stood for stayed silent. So it was kind of like the best in both worlds in that way, where everyone who didn't say anything understood why they weren't saying anything, but they weren't disrespecting the deceased nor the people that were fans of Hogan, what he represented. So Cleveland kind of came up. They kind of knew it. No one had to direct them to do that in our section. And the actual tribute was great. I mean, not great. I mean, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but definitely a formal thing of the 10-bell salute. And the package was already made. And whether you like him or not, Hulk Hogan was synonymous with wrestling for a long time.
You know, I don't want to make this sound dark, but watching the video packs, I thought the video packs were fantastic. I think they did an amazing job on those. But it is crazy. You think about how much stuff Hogan did and how it was all sort of boiled down into 10 minutes of life. And I look at, like, I always think about the NWO. I always talk about how that was one of my favorite times in pro wrestling. And in that video package, it was about 15 seconds.
Yeah. The whole
wow. Like, it's crazy how all that stuff he did just boiled down. And I'm not saying they should have done a whole show for him. I mean, I'm sure they'll have. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of documentaries come out. We're going to see a lot about Hulk Hogan in the future. It was just sort of one of those, like, reminding you of the briefness of life, if I can say that, on a show that's supposed to be fun, Flobo.
To be honest with you, I sat in the crowd neutral, but leaning more towards, like, I don't really like, not to say I didn't like Hogan, but like I mentioned that article at justasandwich.com, I got into wrestling in 92 with WWF and he was already gone. So I didn't have the nostalgic connections, but you're right. The whole fleeting moment of life and the fact that here's a word we overuse, icon, applies to Hogan, because you asked somebody who hadn't watched wrestling in 40 years to do an impression of a wrestler, it's going to be Hogan. And that says a lot. I mean, that's something that people strive to, because he was the face of not only the sport or 80s or American culture. He cross-sectioned a lot of those things.
Yeah, he did. I mean, to this day, people would do an impression of Hulk Hogan, or when they think of a wrestler, they think of Hulk Hogan. And he hasn't been wrestling for 25 years. So, I mean, well, I guess he wrestled a little bit for 2000 to 2005, but I mean, I wouldn't say that was his peak or anything. Kayla says he did. I won't memorialize, but what he did for and to wrestling won't be forgotten. Danny C with a point I got to agree with too. It was kind of weird seeing his beer commercial though.
They should have pulled that. Like, not. I mean, I understand maybe you program the ads months in advance, but that should have been pulled for just something else or anything at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a little weird. Kayla though, superstar of the show, says with a super chat, says, nice to see you guys live. Let me kick this off. Kayla, thank you so much. It's truly appreciated. And you know, I like what Kayla said too about not memorializing, but also he did a lot of stuff with this, something that I've kind of seen, and again, not to make this a serious podcast, but like there are people who obviously have feel a certain way about Hulk Hogan passing, and people who feel another certain way. I always say, like, look, I'm not going to tell you how to feel about anybody. If you don't like them, don't like them. If you like them, like them. If you think it's complicated, whatever. But I don't poo-poo on someone else for feeling a certain way about somebody. You know what I mean? That's
I understand that to a point. I think, you know, look, I'll be honest with it, because I truly believe this, and I think I told you this in our group chat. And I mentioned that growing up, I didn't really was connected to Hogan how some of my contemporaries were, my friends are, but I'll feel the same conflicted way when Vince McMahon passes. You know, growing up in my house, we never even called it wrestling during the Attitude Era. We called it watching Vince. What are you doing? I'm watching Vince. So I understand. And I understand there's a balance of like respecting the dead versus saying, hey, look, I don't feel the certain way about it. But when you die, people associate the memories you make them feel. And so I think there should be spaces for both sides of it. If you feel like it wasn't positive, you feel like it was positive, there should be some kind of deference to everyone to let them mourn the way they want to mourn.
Yeah, I do say, and just to wrap it up, I always say that I always think about it as, you know, my memories. And when we think about like Vince, as you mentioned, that's going to be another one that's going to be very weird to go through. But I would say I protect my memories and the way I feel about things, and separate that from this person, because otherwise if I tarnish all my great time memories, that just hurts me. That doesn't help anybody or hurt anybody. It just ruins my good memories. So I try to keep my memories in a safe little bubble, and then
is it like over your head? It's like,
yes, it just floats, just a little floating bubble of controversial figures.
Right. Everyone from the late 80s or mid 90s are all just hanging out there.
Any other thoughts about attending SmackDown Live? I mean, going to live shows, we've been to a million of them, but it's always a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time. They gave us 2 dark matches. It was Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria, and then the main event was Gunther versus AJ Styles, which was pretty cool. It didn't end the way I wanted to, but like if they had added a Sheamus match, I thought they would have booked it for me specifically. Look, I was telling you this day of, because get-in prices 12 hours before the event was about $80, and I was like, $80 for a SmackDown. When I was a kid, that was ringside. What do? I found a ticket for $55. Do I get my money's worth? And when I was there was no thought in my mind. They gave me the 2 hours. They gave me some great matches, some great work rate, some great promos, and bonus matches at the end of it. Like, it really is a good time. I understand times are hard nowadays, but if you can check out to a TV taping, Raw, SmackDown, or a live event, please do it. It's a nice night out. Bring the kids, get some popcorn, share your love of wrestling with somebody else.
Man, Gunther versus AJ Styles is like a dream match. That's
crazy.
Absolutely.
It just gave it to us. I was like, really? Like, all right, sweet.
That's one of the reasons you got to go to live shows, because you see things that you don't necessarily get to see on TV that are like, wow, this is incredible. And what's going to be really funny, though, is when they do have that match, like, this is the first time Gunther's ever faced
exactly. First time ever.
And you're like, what? No, that's not true.
I was there in Cleveland. Like, I was going to believe me.
Let's talk about seeing things that you don't normally get to see. WWE Unreal debuted on Netflix. I've only had the chance to see one episode, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was have you had a chance to see it, or are you still?
I've seen it. First 2 episodes I've seen. So I have not finished the season.
No spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
So far, I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. I'm not sure the audience, in the sense that I feel like, again, I've just seen the first episode, so maybe this changes. Don't know if there was a lot of stuff I saw that was like, I didn't know this, but it was also like, but I've not seen it like this before, if that makes sense.
Right. It is, when they announced Unreal, I thought it would have been like, just like the camera in the corner, 6 writers being like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
How do we get Akira Tozawa on TV more?
No one's asking that but you, Jack.
I should be in that room.
How many Grande Americanos should we have? But what we got was really one of the documentaries. If you saw the WrestleMania documentary from last year, it's kind of like that. And I will say it's not for us. We are all in on the gimmick, right? We all know what's going on. We are all smart fans or what have you. But much like how Drive to Survive was for Formula One, you want to be able to present a product that someone who may not know what wrestling is all about. Like, again, we're a certain age, Jack. We had conversations with people that would say, hey, did you know it's fake? Right. But now you can see that. And now if you're 16 or 17 years old and you're seeing like the players being presented as wrestlers, it could be an option for you when you're in college. Like, it's definitely a marketing tool for the casual fan, the lapsed fan, those who aren't weekly fans. So not for us specifically, but I enjoyed the ride I was on.
Yeah, I'll probably finish watching the series. So I don't mean to say I don't know what it's for, like it's not entertaining, but because to your point, there's a lot of stuff I'm thinking, man, I want my either casual wrestling fans or non-wrestling fan friends to see this so they get a better idea of what it is. But then there's also parts where I feel like if you don't know what they're talking about, then you just don't know. Like Seth Rollins and CM Punk's background. There's a lot of stuff where they say, oh, yeah, we don't like each other. I'm like, oh, well, if my friend who doesn't watch wrestling saw that, they'd have no idea what that is.
Right.
But at the same time, hearing them talk about like having to hit times and, like how people get over and all the work that goes into certain things, I thought was really cool to see, and like how important gorilla position is. And I thought all that was fascinating and very cool to see.
So on the end of episode 1, like, I don't know if you saw the end of the tail end of it, but I felt so bad for Abyss. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pritchard. I ran over time. Please don't hurt me, man." Like, dude, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like that. That's like I never thought about. Where it's like, yeah, I know in entertainment, always hit your time, always hit your marks. But yeah, when it happens on such a fluid show like wrestling, I never thought what the consequences were. But that dude was scared witless of what was going to happen to him.
Well, because they really drive home how important that show really is. And the fact that they do all that and then they got to do it again the next week, and I've done, I work in some wrestling. I do wrestling stuff and I do like ring announcing and commentary.
Flexing.
And
You're the best dang ring announcer in the business, baby. Hire this man.
Danny C was actually just saying in the 3rd episode of Unreal that Triple H complains that they can't afford Jack and Flobo, which is, spoiler alert. Yeah, we already knew back when we tried to get the American announce table on NXT UK.
Right.
But I've done timekeeping and stuff like that, and I've heard the producers and the directors like telling us to try to get the match wrapped up and trying to communicate to the ref. And so I've been a part of that. And I know how stressful that can be, because not only are you trying to make something happen, but you can't just be in the middle of something in the ring and suddenly the match is over. Otherwise everyone goes, what was that? And so it's crazy. It's so much stuff. But then of course, on the level of WWE, it's fascinating to see how big it is. I want to definitely see more of that kind of stuff. I hope they dive more into that kind of stuff. And frankly, I know some people are worried that maybe they'll give some of the magic away by going to the writer's room, but I would love to see how that looks. And even from a pessimistic corporate side,
pessimistic?
It's actually a fantastic idea, because they can kind of control their narrative of if people don't like something, or if they do like something, they can do these shows of Unreal and be like, oh, well, this is why it happened. And I'll just go, oh, okay, that's why my favorite didn't get the match or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of a good, I don't think they're doing it for propaganda, but like it is kind of a good propaganda arm if they need it to be.
It absolutely is. Like it isn't a work, right? But I do feel like pulling back the curtain just enough opens it up to people that may be considering it, those who think they know what wrestling's about. And yeah, WWE is a corporate endeavor. Now it's a corporate subsidiary endeavor. Why not give us a little bit of stuff,
Yeah. Kayla says, I know it's entertaining, but when I was a kid watching Glow and seeing some women with different names on POW, I miss Tina and Nina Ferrari.
So shout out to Tina Ferrari. That is a deep cut. Cause people who watch WWE who didn't watch Glow didn't know that Tina did 8 years in wrestling, 8 years in WWE, or 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know how long. I'm terrible at that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So basically, you don't know who Jack is. He doesn't know what time is. He thinks COVID was last week. So
no, I'm really bad about that.
Let me look this up. So as Ivory, she got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018. But when she was in WWE, she was in there from 1999 to 2005. So 6 years of WWE. But she is known for Glow, and the fact that she was able to go from such a cartoony presentation to the Attitude Era is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
For real, if you asked me to say what WrestleMania Dallas was, that was the first one I was ever at as a person. I'd have to think about it for
So which one was it?
2 minutes. So I have to do math. What this one will be 40. 41 was Vegas. So 40 was Philly. So 39 was
Los Angeles.
So it'd be 38.
Hey! Now, to be fair,
I was there, and I literally have to go through that math to figure it out.
To be fair, it was that weird time where Vince didn't want to do numbers anymore. After 35, he was like, we don't want numbers, Yeah.
So I'm so bad at that kind of stuff. I like the show. I'm going to keep watching it. I'm probably going to recommend it to some friends, depending on how it goes.
Wait, where was WrestleMania 5? That was a question in the chat.
JLJ Media says he was at WrestleMania 5. He's old. Was WrestleMania 5? Oh, it's so long ago. Was that one of the dual ones where it was like Trump at one of his places, is in two different cities, like Atlantic City and somewhere else?
That was Atlantic City. It was only one venue. It was Trump Plaza. Yeah.
I was right though, Atlantic City.
Yeah, you were right. I was surprised. I hate this. Okay, moving on. Jack got it right.
That was
Trump got it. He got it right.
By the way, if you said WrestleMania 1 through 10, I was gonna guess the same thing.
Yeah, was that place at the building in town?
I was torn between that, or I was like, was it that one, or was it the one where it was all Egyptian themed outside?
Oh yeah, that was Vegas. But WrestleMania 5 is when was it Hogan Savage? The Mega Powers explode. Yeah, let
Was
me
it that
know.
one? When was it? Hogan Warrior?
Yeah. Okay, bet. So that was 6. WrestleMania 5, Hogan Savage. So the Mega Powers
Okay.
exploded. Yeah.
Okay. So Danny C says I went to WrestleMania in Seatown. You know, I wasn't. That was my hometown. I wasn't able to go. The
I
only
think
one Lance Storm competed at, but it was on the pre-show, so it doesn't count.
without looking, I think that was 19. That was when Brock Lesnar did the shooting star press and landed on his head against Kurt Angle.
It sounds right. I know that
Yeah.
I heard that Vince had a thing against Seattle after that for some
I
reason.
mean, it is kind of lame. Have you been?
Seattle, it's a great weekend city.
Okay, all right, fine. But you live there, so
Yeah, I with an ed at the end. Lived
past tense.
past tense. You know why? It gets below 65 degrees in Seattle, and I just
You know
can't
what? I totally understand.
I just can't take it. Let's talk a little bit about some of the wrestling we saw this week. Of course, everyone who's with us, like, comment, share, subscribe, 5-star review. Again, thank you all for being in the chat. JLJ Media, Danny C, Kayla. We also had Ricky in the chat earlier, Shades in the chat. Appreciate you all and everyone else for being here. Thank you so much. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Last week, well, let's say this first, because we just got done watching AEW, and I've had some criticisms of AEW in the past.
Whoa, you never do. You're a shill. Total shill.
Well, look, if you say something nice about AEW, you must be a shill. That's just how it works.
Mhm.
And you work for Meltzer. If you hate AEW, then you are part of the WWE propaganda arm and are a grifter.
As long as you admit that, yes.
That's not, and there's no in between, Flobo.
We're grifting with no income. That's we're not grifting anything.
We're grifters, and we're terrible at it.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
But this week was a really good. This is like the best show they've done in weeks. I thought that it flowed. Everything made sense where it was supposed to go. I love that they had a Christian promo who clearly is Cope adjacent. Go right into an FTR promo who is against Cope, for instance. So like the whole show went together. I was a little concerned that they had Adam Page, Mox not as the main event, but then seeing how the show ended with MJF and Hangman coming out to make the save, I was like, oh, that makes sense, because that's a cool ending to the show. A good shot of him standing tall with Mark Briscoe. The whole show, I was like, wow, they nailed this. There are a few things that I'm still wondering about. Like, I still don't really understand the Hurt Syndicate MJF situation, but other than that, I thought this was a really good episode of AEW Dynamite.
I like it, but I have to ask you, because you're a shill, right? Because you totally are on the payroll, getting paid 50 cents or less per episode.
Yeah.
What would it take?
I'm not claiming it on my taxes. That's how low
it is. You heard that, government? No. We have ourselves a tax evader. What would it take for AEW to get back into the conversation? Like, I feel like the fans have never left. The AEW core hasn't left, but there is a level to being in like the general wrestling kind of conversation where AEW isn't right now. I mean, the matches are fine. The pay-per-views are great. We're getting a lot more in-depth promos. Like, what do they need to do?
I've always believed they need structure, and they need to divide things up a little bit. I have always said the beauty of the Attitude Era that I think is the overlooked part of it is you always knew what division a wrestler was in. When Al Snow came on and wrestled Steve Blackman, you knew exactly. Yeah. That's where they're exactly. You knew exactly where they were, what their role, like where even though they didn't have like brackets, you didn't see it. You just kind of knew. And when I see wrestlers in AEW, they're great. I don't really know what they would challenge for, though. As far, like if Brody King won 4 matches in a row and says, I want a title shot, what championship is he going after? I don't know.
TNT?
Like, would he? Or would he go after the Unified? Or to go after the world?
I was going to say international, but it doesn't exist anymore.
So I actually had to take a second to remember.
Wait a minute, what the hell is that? Oh yeah, I forgot.
So that's why, like, I think they need a little bit of structure, and also I've always said I think when it comes to like selling tickets, if WWE was coming to town in 2 months and for Raw, and you wanted to buy a ticket, you could buy a ticket being pretty confident you're going to see Braun Breaker. Pretty confident you're going to see CM Punk. You can be pretty confident Judgment Day is going to be there. Pretty confident you're going to see Rhea Ripley. There's a lot of people that they may or may not be there, but you're going to be pretty confident you're going to see this handful of people. If AEW had a show in town in 2 months, I have no idea who's going to be there. And that's not necessarily in a good way. Like, will Kenny Omega show up? I don't know. Will MJF be on this one? Maybe. Will Hurt Syndicate be there? I don't know.
Kinda.
And so it's hard to feel like, oh man, I got to get a ticket. When I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to see.
They're kind of in a weird part where it's like, they don't tour the country evenly, and they're not a studio show. So they're kind of like, they'll do Charlotte for 3 weeks, they'll do Chicago for 3 weeks, and then that's kind of odd. You're absolutely right. But yeah, I kind of wish that happened. I'm not, there are very few characters in AEW I'll buy the merch for, but I think the show itself is even enough where I can, plop down, watch Dynamite. I'm sorry, I don't watch Collision. I know you do, but I watch Dynamite every Wednesday. But I kind of feel like there should be more eyes on it, because I know 2023 was pretty much the abyss for AEW, but it's not there anymore. And I don't think the viewers are coming back. So I don't know.
I do think, too, there's a few things structurally as far as how the show is put together that I think they did really good tonight, by the way. But just in general, sometimes it feels like things happen sort of just to happen, or matches happen just to happen. Like they're, infamously the, 8-man tag matches where it's like, let's just throw a bunch of people out there to do stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool every now and again. Don't get me wrong. But if it's every show, or like you have a 6-man tag and an 8-man tag on the same show, it's a little bit like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're just kind of like pumping up the poster. See all your favorites. Yeah.
It also feels a lot like the WWE 2K when you're doing general manager mode. You're like, well, I got to have these people on the show to keep their rivalry up.
Dude, that is a real struggle. Because I'll be drafting like the creator wrestlers in the game with like $2,000 a week salaries. Jody Threat versus it's rough. It is a rough time to be a GM in that game. It sucks.
I download some of the craziest characters. Like I was like, this person looks insane. I'm gonna download this person in my game.
5 weeks, $10. Sweet.
Yes. But I know this was a really great show. I thought Hangman Mox was great. I thought that Athena and Alex Windsor and Billy Starks and Tony Storm was great. You agree? It sounds like
I'm not on Team Athena, but you know what? Look, I can't deny greatness. So she's been doing it for ROH, and she's been on Dynamite for a couple weeks. But if I had to go buy the merch, probably the first choice.
Well, we also had NXT this week.
We did.
And
what? You mean that trashy show Jack Farmer hates? What are we talking about NXT for?
I want to talk about NXT because I did say a lot of things about NXT last week.
You did.
And this week was fantastic.
What?
It was a fantastic
There
show.
was TNA in there. Why would you watch that?
You'll notice.
There was main roster in there. Why would you watch that?
There was the smallest. First off, LFG wasn't a part of the show. Evolve was not a part of the show.
LFG is going to be there anyway.
And it was the most minimal amount of TNA that they've had in a very long time. And I would say
on the show a week ago telling me
I was going to say the thing that bugged me the most was stuff like Joe Hendry's head popping up in the middle of these great matchups for no reason.
Because make sure you remember he's
like I didn't say your name, Joe Hendry. Why is your face popping up in the middle of my Fallon Henley Lash Legend match?
It's not Dora the Explorer. You don't have to trigger by saying Joe Hendry in the show up.
He says, "Say his name," and he appears. I did not say his name.
I said it. It was loaded in the game. It was loaded in there.
How dare you say?
Look, 7 days ago, you were like, "Oh man, NXT, it's the worst. I don't like the show." Now you're like, "It's great."
Well, look, I can compartmentalize show. This episode was fantastic. I got to say, I think moment of the week, almost rivaling Solo Sikoa. I mean, I can't believe we had the top 2 moments in the past 40 years of pro wrestling in the past 2 weeks. But Chase U thinking that they need to attack people with chairs to get title shots. Oh, to be like, whoa, you could just ask.
Yeah.
Andre Chase be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to say something like along the lines of like Trick Willie. You're like, no, it's Chase U.
because that feels so like, how often have we said as fans, like, I would just attack the champ with chairs and get a title shot or something. It felt very like if I was a real, like, in there as a person, that's what I would do. And it also felt like if you were the champ, you'd be like, look, if you want a title shot, just ask for it. Why do you make it so? It felt very real in a way, as silly and stupid as it was.
Just fill out a form, man, like DMV. Just fill out an application.
But I also got to say, I like Nia Jax. I know that's hypocritical because I said that earlier. I don't like other brands coming in, but I think in this case, her and Lash Legend are going to be great together.
I don't understand you, Jack, because again, go back to last week, right? You were adamant about keeping NXT contained. There's so many brands getting involved. Bah humbug, main roster, TNA, and now you're telling me it was a good episode this week. Like, I didn't have any notes because I was like, Jack's not watching this because he probably hates it. But now you're telling me it's great.
This last week was bad. This week was great. I like, because look, again, the crossovers were so much smaller than they were before. There were very few and far between. This time with like Nia Jax attacking Lash Legends, that's a program we can watch. That's just something I want to see happen. There's history between the two. That's an opportunity to help Lash Legend continue to ascend, as opposed to The Undertaker coming out, choke slamming Trick Williams. They're not going to have a match. There's not going to be a blow off to that. That's just Trick Williams getting choke slammed for no reason. So that I didn't like seeing that.
That's LFG. You just hate LFG. Just say you hate LFG. It's fine. Because LFG is being promoted on all WWE shows. Sorry. All WWE. I said I'm so messed up. All WWE shows. LFG has some sort of integrated advertising.
Integrated advertising versus having a coach come in and choke slam a champion is too, like, look, you would never have The Undertaker come out and just choke slam Cody Rhodes and then be like, tune into LFG, folks, and then leave and then never come back. Like,
what? Dude, LFG, folks. Okay, all right.
Don't miss it.
That's the best Undertaker impression I've ever heard.
After Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That is the best Undertaker impression I've ever heard. Do me a favor. Take out LFG. Fine.
So I love, but also I gotta say, I feel like we've seen Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Obafemi. I feel like they've been in each other's orbit for a long time. I don't think they've actually had that many matches, but I feel like they've been in each other's orbit forever.
Yeah.
I don't know how excited I am about the idea of that, but that promo in the beginning and the match that Javon Evans had and the end shot with Obafemi at the end, I loved every bit of it. I thought I'm on board for it. Yeah.
To me, it was part 2 of last week where, like, to your point, and I know I teased you for this. I did feel like Trick Williams was the focal point of NXT last week and not Obafemi, even though he's the NXT champion, despite the fact that last week we had the stare down with JC Jane walking with both championships. So having Javon Evans being like, look, I'm not even talking about you, I'm talking about the NXT champion. To me, that was great. It hit every mark for there, but you're right. I'm not sure what the blow is going to be. But I like the fact that even though in NXT, even though technically the NXT title isn't a world championship, the TNA is a world championship, so it should be the higher title, that we're not forgetting about what the NXT title means on NXT.
I don't know. I thought it was great. And it's funny. I did go into the show. I did go into NXT with my notes, getting ready to find all these reasons. Like, see, this is why it's not good. This is why it's not. I was like that person that's just coming ready to rant. And I was like, okay, opening segment was pretty cool. Okay, this match was pretty good.
What?
And then I'm watching Wesley versus Javon Evans have an incredible match, and Javon Evans put some stank on that cutter at the end. Man, he got like extra high on that one.
Yeah,
it was almost like because I'm sure he watches the show, and he was like, "I'm going to show Jack how this is." Just hit. I don't know. It was insane.
I don't want to jump ahead. Shout out to Calvin, by the way. Thank you so much for your comments. But I don't want to jump ahead. But what do you think about the last segment of NXT this week? The Tony D'Angelo at the table.
Yes. Yeah, bad day for groups, by the way. No quarter catch crew. The family. I love that the family's all moved on. It's interesting. I think it's a good thing that he's getting rid of the Don moniker because the Don moniker, I don't know how that would work on the main roster. I'm a little worried about how that would. I think he'd come off a bit cartoony and silly.
He is cartoony. Like he has a family outfit and restaurant in Orlando. Like how does that how does that translate on one restaurant in Orlando? You know?
Well, yeah, we talked about this on text earlier, but like there are certain cartoony things that on NXT that just work because of the world NXT is, and you go with it. You're like, oh, that makes sense. I'm into it. But like Tony, and that was Tony D'Angelo, and in the world of NXT, the Dawn made sense. I'm rolling with it. This is great. But if Tony D'Angelo was standing next to like Gunther, you'd be like, what? Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here? You know, like if Roman Reigns was having like staring down Tony D'Angelo, he'd be like, your family, you know, like it'd be silly. You'd be like, this is ridiculous.
Definitely has a 64 rating on WWE 2K.
Yeah, exactly. So I think long term, it's good that they're moving on. Now I don't know what the next thing is. I don't know who walked in. That's the big question. Who do you think walked in on? Was it El Grande Americano?
I thought he was whacked. I thought he was like Sopranos. Like, oh, who killed him? You know what I mean? But I don't. It looked like it was pretty much someone who's large. It couldn't be anyone on the NXT roster. I think it has to be somebody on the main roster. But I would say that'd be a Braun Strowman role, but he's not even on the roster anymore. So I'm not really sure.
I actually would love the idea of him getting whacked and being dead in character in NXT, and then he goes to the main roster as just a different, like just as Tony D'Angelo, and just has a different gimmick or whatever. And like,
okay,
we live in a world very Lucha Underground where the Dawn was whacked and he's gone, and now he's just a different person on the main roster.
It would be a cool story to end it, right? Just kind of like Sopranos. You're out there having, he wasn't eating anything. We're out there having a meal, and someone goes, and that's it. And then Anthony D'Angelo II just shows up on SmackDown one week, like, hey, what's up?
Oh man, so yeah, I loved it. I see. I'm not a hater. I go.
I'm surprised. I really am, because last week you were like, NXT is crap.
I did. By the way, I want everyone to know who did watch the show. I mixed up some names. I said Kiana James yesterday in our argument. I meant to say Kaylani Jordan. Good to see her back. Yes, Kiana James got injured and moved a long time ago. Kaylani Jordan was the one I was referring to, but I'm glad she's back in a prominent role. Kayla, by the way, with some awesome comments, says, my kids went to Saturday Night Evolution and Raw this month, and Evolution was the best night of the three. If AEW can do advertising across TV, internet, streaming, and social media, would be great. I can't speak for anyone else, but yeah, I never see advertisements for AEW. Like when they come to town, I feel like, oh, they're here. Like it catches me off guard every time.
It's hard because like they're on a network, TBS, and TBS is a good channel, but they're very much a general entertainment kind of channel. So if you're watching baseball and it's like, tune into AEW on Wednesday, and I'm like one of the few people who like baseball and wrestling, it's like, who's this for? Like, am I going to switch the Atlanta Braves on to seeing Kenny Omega? Like, it's kind of a weird thing for them, but you're right. I only hear about events for AEW. Maybe it's because I'm the bubble I'm in, like the week of, the day before, or if it's like Chicago where there's like an announcement that it's going to be a residency or World's End or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and as you said, I'm a shill, and I still, whenever they're here, it's literally like, it's here in 2 days. So I'm like, it's here in 2 days. I didn't. Who
says okay? Yeah, all right.
Oh, I guess they're here, and like, and I am you and I are about as wrestling fan as you get. So if I'm a casual person who just turns it on every week, I can't imagine how they find out about it.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a thing where it's like, should people just assume they're going to be in Chicago for the rest of the year, or like tune in? Like, I don't know, because they travel a weird frequency. They go on the road for like a month and they stay in one place for a month after that. You know?
Yeah, they're in Chicago all the time. They love Chicago. I don't know. I feel like every time they come to the West Coast, they get great crowds, and I don't know what. I'm sure there's people who have sales numbers and stuff. I don't know what those are, but it feels like the crowds are always really lively and happy when they're West Coast, because we don't get wrestling shows out here that often. But now WWE is even out here like every 3 months. So which is great, by the way. It's cool to have shows out here. And last thing on that is, and I don't think this shouldn't be something that AEW should blame anything on, but I do notice Max does you no favors in helping to promote AEW Dynamite, or finding that, because even when you type in AEW Dynamite, there's like 7 different shows that come up, and like there's like You know what I mean? It has like different.
Oh yeah.
Like it's very tricky to figure it out. Where when you go to Netflix, it's very easy. It's like usually one of the top things, easy to get to. And I'm sure people say that's because more people watch Raw, and that might be the case. But yeah,
No,
Max
it's a
does
UI
you no
thing.
Max does you no favors in finding that show.
Because like I remember when, and I know I feel like an old man yelling at Cloud, but when the WWE Network moved over to Peacock, like the UI experience, the user experience was so bad that it was hard to find stuff. And we would do the Draped in Gold Classic. Do you call it Classic now at this point?
Now it's not. We'll call it Black and Gold.
Yeah, Black and Gold, Draped in Gold. Trying to find NXT UK stuff, it was hard. It was like, I think this is the page. I'm refreshing the page. Is it happening? But yeah, I think someone at Max is like, Dynamite again? Over there.
Remember that time they didn't even upload UK until like
that time? Like, multiple weeks.
It was like hours later though. It wasn't even like
the next day. You're like, do you not care about what's on? And the thing is, this is kind of a pull make the curtain thing. So we had this NXT UK review show, and there was weeks where it didn't get uploaded. So we'll say, hey, look, there's no uploaded version this week. And you will see the likes from the roster of NXT UK, like, hey man, we understand. Like we are solidarity with you. So
speaking of our one of our friends, friend of the show is what I'm trying to say here. Oro Mensah apparently was at the Ring of Honor tapings today. So
that's pretty sick. Yeah,
Oro Mensah,
the
main man gets. Hopefully, Oro Mensah's on AEW sooner rather than later, or gets another opportunity because I'm a big fan of the guy. Ready and forward forever. I guess now it's just forward, or is it just ready?
I'm not sure which one was which.
KOD back in the chat. Always good to see a KOD. Shout out to Issa, who apparently is suffering from COVID and is going to miss SummerSlam weekend, but she'll be doing.
Oh man, I've never got COVID. Well, I would say this. I think I probably got like 20 times, but I was asymptomatic. But I never got like the feel.
I thought you were gonna say I got like 20 times, but it didn't stop me from going out.
Yeah, I'm in the front row, just spreading disease out to everybody. No, what I'm saying is,
I was like, whoa, okay.
I'm a heel turn right there.
I mean, I'm a tax evader. You're spreading the Rona. What the?
I was going to say, man, like I don't know, but props to Issa, who is still going to do content. I believe. I think she's still doing content that week.
Kayla says Warner Brothers Discovery owns TBS and TNT. Do cross promos across all Discovery networks in addition to HBO Max. Heck, even do Adult Swim. How many fans watch that? They could do a lot more promoting. Absolutely. I don't know what goes into that or how that works, how easy that is. But yeah, they could do a lot more for them.
I tease you all the time about Collision being a moving target. I feel like that show, you watch it, but that show moves like every 3 weeks. There's another time slot.
I was literally thinking today, because they said it's going to be on Thursday this week. Okay. And I was literally thinking today, I don't know the last time it was on the same day 3 weeks in a row.
Right. Not to say I've written it off. I totally have. But like you tell me
you've written it off.
Yeah, you tell me about Collision. I'm like, does that even count if it changes days and times every month or so?
I do think it's silly when people are like, well, the ratings were down this low this week. Well, yeah, of course. It's never on the same shit. Like, why are we even counting the ratings of Collision at this point?
Dude,
like
you could imagine if SmackDown was like Saturday morning, Friday night, Sunday during the middle of the day. Like, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I've always believed that they need to do that formula where it's like mostly a recap or like mostly just promos, and then you have like one or two of the dark matches from Dynamite on there, so you get something out of it. But
yeah,
that's what I think it should be. It's just a place to kind of catch up on things and maybe just get a few of those backstage promos or something. Where
you mean like WCW Worldwide Deep Cut?
Hell yeah, WCW Worldwide, the best wrestling show.
Tony Schiavone and Scott Hudson with you.
Scott Hudson, yeah,
throwback,
my guy. We're going to talk about SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer. It's coming
my favorite
weekend, your favorite show. And, one that I think I've definitely grown to love and appreciate. Who's Mr. SummerSlam, by the way, in your opinion?
I'm not sure what the answer is now, but if you asked me a year ago, it would have been Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar had a good run from like 2010 to like 2020, where he was just in the main event or had the semi-main event or had the most impactful moment. 22 with Roman Reigns, the ring collapse in 2015 against The Undertaker. Like, it's Brock Lesnar. Now, guys of a certain age, saying over 45, will say Bret Hart. That's not necessarily wrong, but I think there were more main events where Brock Lesnar being involved. He'd be my SummerSlam.
Can someone be a Mr. WrestleMania or Mr. SummerSlam in perpetuity, or like once they're like, do we still call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania when he hasn't been on a WrestleMania in 20 years?
I think, yeah, because he claimed it, and that's kind of what it was. I think everyone else hasn't. So there could be a Mr. Survivor Series. It could be a Mr. Crown Jewel. There could be a Mr. SummerSlam. Yeah,
Mr. Great Balls of Fire.
Mr. Great Balls of Fire. Mr. Capital Punishment. But for me, my money's worth, Brock Lesnar, if we can say his name, is Mr. SummerSlam.
Chris Bricks says it doesn't need to be 2 days. Do you agree?
I was afraid. I felt like WrestleMania. I feel like all PLE should be 1 day, and I always put the first 35 WrestleManias in a different category. When it went to 2 days, I go, okay, I get it. It's a big thing. WrestleMania has to be different, especially in the post Saudi world. SummerSlam, I was a little worried about that being 2 days, but I got to be honest with you. This card is stacked. They really delivered, at least getting me hyped for what this 2 day event was going to be. But on paper, no wrestling event needs to be 2 whole days on a calendar.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. The card is incredible. I think they filled the card up for a necessary 2 day event. I'm more worried, how am I going to feel spending a beautiful weekend in August, I guess, late July, August. I guess this will be just August. Anyways, late July, a beautiful summer in August.
Yeah.
Just sitting inside watching TV. You know
if I had it my way, dude, if I was the emperor of WWE,
yeah,
wrestling,
you'd be Mr. Crown Jewel.
I'm a Mr. Crown Jewel, baby.
Yeah.
That's it. Take us out. Take us home. No, WrestleMania would be 1 day, but a larger event. And SummerSlam would be 2 days, because that would be our all-star break. That will be like our skills challenge. That will be our rookie showcase. That will be our afternoon events. Like, that should be like the festival event, kind of like the summer tour thing. So I'm all about that. But you're right. Like, imagine saying, my friends, yeah, man, this week I'm watching wrestling. And I'm like, hey, that was you 4 months ago. Well, this is different because it's August now. And I'm watching Gilly roll. Like, it's just a weird.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah. It's but we'll see. I'm sure we're gonna love it. We always do. We can never get enough pro wrestling. So we're gonna get into this. And Danny C, thank you so much for the reminder. Jack, you gotta give a spoiler warning since you're always correct. That's true.
Danny.
Spoiler warning. Anyone who's listening, just know that whatever I say, it's gonna be a spoiler.
Danny, do not encourage him.
Correct.
Don't encourage him.
With a few asterisks. So you ready to talk about the biggest summer?
I'm always ready to talk about SummerSlam.
By the way, speaking of that, like, Brock Party, I swear to God that was 2 years ago.
Really? That was like 5 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have no concept of time. I feel like that was like that was like 2 years ago, right?
Oh my God. I'm actually looking this up. When did it happen?
Funny enough, I saw today that SummerSlam is going to be the 5-year anniversary of Roman Reigns coming back as his tribal chief. Well, he didn't call himself the tribal chief, but it was 5 years ago, 2020 SummerSlam, that Roman Reigns made that return and attacked The Fiend and Braun Strowman.
Oh, wow. That is time. Time goes by pretty fast.
Yeah.
Brock Party was in 2019. So that was 6 years ago.
Jeez Louise. That's when I first started this whole shindig of covering wrestling. Let's talk about the show. We're going to start things off with your favorite wrestler, Sami Zayn, going against Karrion Kross, singles match. Now, Flobo, I know you love both these guys, and I know you love Ska.
No.
I want you to try to be impartial here. Talk to me. Who do you think is going to win, and what are your thoughts on how
they cares
to this point?
Who cares who's going to? Sorry, I'm supposed to be now. Okay, I got it. Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. The whole world wants Karrion Kross to do well. Sami Zayn is an underdog, I guess, even though he has all the titles. But yes, I'm with Chris Briggs here. If you're really serious about Karrion Kross, you're not going to release him. He has to win this week because he's been hanging out backstage way too long. Karrion Kross over Sami Zayn.
Do you think Sami Zayn can take another loss? I feel like he's eaten a lot of losses. Kross has too, but
Yeah, because he has like an everyman appeal, almost like a Mick Foley situation where he can lose with a bad for him, but will still have an emotional attachment to him. He's not like a Jey Uso or LA Knight or a Braun Strowman when he was in the roster where it was like, you lost again, I'm over it. Or Jake Cargill, I'm over it. But Sami Zayn's like, you try, little buddy, just get yourself off the ground and try again. It's okay, you know.
I'm going to go with Sami Zayn here. I think you're right, but until I find out that Karrion Kross has signed a new contract, I got to assume that we're going to hear ska music twice. Once when Sami Zayn comes out, and then once at the after party when Flobo is celebrating and dancing to his favorite tunes.
Stop with that. Ska music is awful. And the fact to keep reviving it, it's even worse.
I think, you know what? I don't think we revived it enough.
That is a lie, sir.
Chris Brick says Sammy can bounce back from anything. Cross needs the win. We got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on Braun Breaker with Bronson Reed and Bronson Reed. Tag team match. For who do you think's going to win this one, obviously? But also, we saw a big moment for Braun Breaker on Raw this week. Do you think we've known he's the future for a while, but do you think him putting both Jey Uso and Roman Reigns through the guardrail, is he a top level main event world title caliber guy, or does he still need to elevate a bit further?
Personally, I think he has some room for improvement, but it's very apparent that he's going to be the next man up. Braun Breaker is somebody who is a physical specimen. They talk about his speed all the time. With Seth Rollins, questionable. I'm gonna put that down. Questionable for the next couple of months. He has to lead that faction, and so I get that. I get understanding how he has to be the tip of the spear. That said, you brought back or recalled Roman Reigns. I'm assuming due to the Seth Rollins injury, you don't bring him back just to lose. I got to give it up to the OTC one and the real Jey Uso.
Whenever I look at a match like this, I like to look at who's the weakest link. All these guys are awesome. I'm a fan of all of them. But Bronson Reed eating a pin from Roman Reigns does not seem like that hard of a thing to imagine.
Whoa, he took his shoes though, man. You don't
and
somebody's shoes.
That's also why I think he's eating the pin. Because man, you took the man's shoes.
Facts.
That is, I mean, outside of the Wyatt family murdering people, that might be the most cold-blooded thing we've seen.
Wait. What a comparison. I was trying to say something, killing somebody. Taking my shoes. Yeah.
I mean, it's close. That's the crazy.
Yeah, it's up there. It really is. Yeah.
Even Adam Pearce was like, listen, I brought the Wyatt family back, but I am not bringing back this guy for stealing shoes. That is,
I understand that.
Chris loves it. I thought it was a great moment too, but I could see Roman Reigns pinning Bronson Reed, and I think Roman Reigns has suffered a couple of L's in a row. I think he needs to start getting some dubs again, and pretty quick. And I think he's going to get the win here.
Yeah,
but
Danny, kind of an odd position for Roman to be in after being untouchable for so long and having so many pins, so many losses afterward.
You gotta go on the loser tour after you go for a win streak that long. Danny C says, I think a cool twist would be Jay turning on Roman and joining Heyman and the Brawns.
Sir,
Flobo.
Sir,
could you see reuniting Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns?
I like this, but this is not 2027. Like, Jay just had the best face run in a while. That would be totally like a Vince Russo swerve, where it's like, by the way, I'm bad now.
Yeah, I don't know if I could see him doing that, if that would work. He's just too lovable. The way he wrestles is too fan centric, you know. His yeet. Also, you'd be getting rid of the yeets, which is one of the biggest things of the show. Like, I don't know if you can get rid of that.
The New York Mets had a WWE night, and Mr. Met bobbleheads were given out, and Mr. Met was wearing the sunglasses with the yeet on them. Like, let's be real.
Okay, yeah, where they're not changing that. What about Roman? Think Roman could join Paul Heyman?
I'd be kind of fun for me. Like if it was WWE 2K Universe mode, that's what I would do. But I don't think it makes sense here because like, what would Seth Rollins do when he gets back?
Well, they hate each other, so that'd make it more fun. I don't know.
Very, very Judgment Day. I don't know.
Speaking of Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss tag team championship on the line. do the two people who aren't friends beat the two people who aren't friends?
Well, we aren't friends with the best podcast on the planet. So yes, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte,
forever.
baby. Yes. I hate you. But yeah, yes, I do think
damn it.
Bam. No, I'm with it. I do think Charlotte Flair makes the dub happen, so why not?
I think this is it. If this was something that was on Unreal, I would love to see them talk about this because I feel like they went into this thinking Judgment Day was going to win. I have a feeling Judgment Day is going to keep the championships until Liv comes back, and then that's going to be the rub is, hey, we love you, Liv, but we're more successful without you.
Yeah.
That said, I think Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss have been way better than I think we all thought they were going to be together.
Not me. Look, I like Charlotte Flair, but I'll be honest with you, I was so afraid of her knee coming back. I don't think she's like stable on it yet. Much like Bayley when she had damage control, she needed tag team. Alexa Bliss isn't my favorite, but together it makes sense. They talk together. They have a whole little vibe. I'm with it. I would buy the merch. I would buy the We're Not Friends merch and wear it around you.
That's what I mean is I think the plan, I'm just guessing, but I think the plan was to have them lose and maybe Charlotte turns on Alexa Bliss and then they have matches against each other. But now the We Aren't Friends thing is so hot right now. I'm like, is that what you do? Maybe you just ride the hot hand.
I would say this is the one time I think they'll do like the challengers lose and then take 2 weeks to regroup and get the rematch on a SmackDown and then win that time, personally. But I do think they're the next women's champions.
Interesting. Well, I think Judgment Day wins this one. But yeah, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss has been a surprisingly great combo, in my opinion. Next up, we've got singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus CM Punk.
CM Punk needs this win, and you know how I feel about this version of Gunther. Pretty flat. But CM Punk doesn't need a championship, but he needs a dub here because he's taken some mighty L's over the past year. And I know wins and losses don't matter when you're in the legend category like CM Punk is, but I think for him it does. Like, you have to get him some sort of gold, and it has to happen this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, I disagree with that. I think at some point, even legends need to get wins. I mean, John Cena beating him started to lose interest for a while there even. So I look at it and Danny C says, Punk, boo.
Jack, is that you? Is that your burner account?
You know what? I agree with you. I think CM Punk needs this win. I think he's taken way too many losses and he needs to be a top level champion at this point. But I'm picking Gunther because I'm a CM Punk hater.
Yeah, why though? What did CM Punk ever do to you?
Gunther. I did the old taunt. He doesn't do that anymore. He's not really Imperium Mystic anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't like him as much.
Seth's music hits and costs CM Punk. But does he cash in?
Yeah, if you can go, it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see him cost CM Punk one more time. Seth Rollins sneakily, by the way, one of the best when it comes to personal rivalries. When you think about it, like he ends up he always gets one up on Roman Reigns. He always seems to get one up on everyone he has really serious rivalries with.
He is kind of like the Joker / Riddler. I'll give him that.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like even the people who seem like they have more championships and everything, but for some reason, whenever he's involved, he always seems to find a way to get that one up on him. But I'm going Gunther because I'm a hater.
You are a hater, huge. But I'm a Karrion Kross hater, so it makes sense.
Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre might be MIA. He's got some passport issues. They say it should be worked out, but who do you think's going to win this one, Jelly Roll or Logan Paul?
Oh man, come on! I can hear the Michael Cole.
That's a real question. Can you believe that? This is a real.
Yeah. What are we doing? Like, we should have been lawyers and doctors now. But no, I can totally hear it, man. Yeah, I could hear Michael Cole be like, "And Jelly Roll with a low blow into the RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3." So yes, Jelly Roll has to get the dub because he's fighting for all of us. And he said that on Friday night on SmackDown. I'm not sure how I relate to Jelly Roll, but he's fighting for me, so that's my guy.
Jelly Roll is the kind of name that if he never existed, right? And we were chatting, I was like, well, back in 1942, one of the best wrestlers around was a guy named Jelly Roll Calhoun, who would you would absolutely believe that Jelly Roll Calhoun was a previous wrestler.
Hey, Haystack Calhoun was a real person, yeah. And the thing is about Jelly Roll, I actually like one of his songs. I like the Need a Favor, so you know what? I want him to win. Why not?
Yeah, Jelly Roll's totally going to get the win here. He's going to get the pin too. I mean, it feels very clear Randy Orton's going to hit the RKO.
Whoa! Why
Jelly
would
Roll's going to get the pin.
Jelly Roll's going to do the low blow to set up the RKO, and RKO is going to get the pin.
I don't know if he'll do that. You think he'll do that? I think Jelly Roll's going to hit a choke slam.
I think the fans like Jelly Roll. I don't think they would cheer if he got the pin. So I think that he's going to set up the move that RKO does it, or with the RKO, it's like, hey, Randy Orton won, yay!
I think he'll pin Drew. I think Jelly Roll will pin Drew McIntyre, and that will fire up Drew McIntyre. That you've embarrassed me, Randy Orton, and I'm gonna.
That's egregious. Jelly Roll pinning Drew McIntyre,
and yeah, I think that's
Goldberg can do that at WrestleMania. Are you kidding me? Jelly
Roll will pin Drew McIntyre.
Are you going to put $3 on that or $4 on it?
Maybe I will, and maybe I'll win the farm back.
Don't bet on wrestling, guys. Don't do that.
No, don't do it. It's stupid. Chris Brick says, "I Need You" is a good Jelly Roll song, and Danny C says Drew confirmed tonight that he's back in town, so that's good.
Yeah, but he's going to be in Jersey though. Ugh.
And I know
I wouldn't go, and I'm from New York.
Yeah. Well, so you really, yeah. I mean, you can smell Jersey from where you're from.
Yeah, exactly. Summerslam, Brooklyn, great. Summerslam, New Jersey, no thanks.
Speaking of, sorry to dovetail here real quick. We got a whole nother day to predict, but can we stop doing summer-themed shows in places that aren't like a summer-themed?
What do you mean?
No one's going to Jersey for their summer break.
Nobody wants to go, but they have the shore. They have Atlantic City. There's a boardwalk. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Like, I hate when, they're doing, and AEW does this too. This is not just a WWE thing, but they'll have these like summer themed shows in like the most spring break, summer break locations.
Yeah. Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. That probably was where they did like the last one. It's just put it near the beach. Why are we living in fear, Flobo? Why don't we do another show on the beach?
Yeah, Bash at the Beach, Nebraska. I get you. I got it.
God, it's so like really. What's the last one's like in Detroit? Like, what are we doing? No one goes to Detroit for summer break.
No, that's different. Something in Detroit was. It sounds like Cleveland was also weird too. Yeah, those two.
Like, put them. Go. Come on, guys.
But Jersey, I mean, granted, the MetLife Stadium is like right outside New York, like in East Rutherford, so that doesn't really count. But Jersey has the shore, Jersey Shore. I get it.
And the main event, based on what Wikipedia says, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, women's championship match on the line. This is also the order that WWE tweeted out, so I don't know if they're going to stick to it, but this. Shocking that this would be the main event over like Punk and Gunther, but that means this should be a good one. Who do you think is going to win it? Is it Tiffy time or is it a Storm time?
a Storm time? Is that what 2 months ago, I would have said Tiffany Stratton, right? You had the title. She beat Charlotte. She has a run, but it just seems like with the dirt sheets are coming up with that promo against Charlotte really did some damage for Tiffany. And I like Jade. Jade is a Storm. She's a physical specimen. But much like Jey Uso this year, much like LA Knight last year, much like Cameron Grimes the year before, she has to have some sort of hardware or else we're going to stop believing in her. So I got to give Jade Cargill. It's her time. She gets the title.
There's a lot of this person needs to win on this
absolutely. That's what makes this good. Like, I get it. Like, WWE is in a good place. There's so much good talent. You could put people on a random match or a card and you're fine. But now SummerSlam, which seemed like it was thrown together, actually has matches with stakes and where we go from there. And that to me was like genius from them. This could be kind of their best PLE if it works out for them.
It could be you're right. It could be good. You're going with Jade Cargill. I agree with you. I think Jade Cargill gets to win on this one. Flobo, Danny C says Flobo's a hater of all places. He's a hater of nouns, really.
Hey, I've learned to love Cleveland.
People, places, things.
Canadians.
I mean, they qualify as a people.
Are they places? People are things. They're all of them. So I'm just saying.
You hear it here first. Flobo calls Canadians things.
I love Ethan Page. He's cool.
And as Chris Brick says, it's Jade's time, or as Jack says, it's Storm time.
It's Storm time.
This is you know those movies you see at Blockbuster that are clear knockoffs of
the Mockbusters,
like Transmorphers and stuff.
Snakes on a Train, yeah, I've seen those.
That would be my version of that if I had Jade Cargill in one of my movies like that, like A Storm Time.
A storm is on its way.
I think Jade Cargill wins, and I think she's going to be champ. And
so, fun fact: that studio, Asylum, their biggest hit, because they make those Mockbusters, their biggest hit is actually Sharknado.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
A very popular one. Have you seen it? They have
the
first 15 of them now.
There's like 4 of them. Yeah,
with Ian. What's his name?
Oh, so awkward story. I was at Comic-Con one year and I saw Ian Ziering walk out. I'm like, oh man, guys, Ian Ziering from Sharknado. And nobody turned around. He was like, I felt terrible. I called attention to no one know who this guy was. It was awful.
I have this thing now when I watch TV, and everyone else, this is a fun game you can play too when you're watching TV or a movie with someone else, with your friends or whatever. When someone comes on screen, ask yourself, can this person go to the grocery store and not get recognized? And like, there's sometimes they're like pretty big stars. Like, I wonder if this person can like go to the grocery store without getting recognized.
The question becomes which grocery store? It's about Walmart or something like Erewhon? Are we talking about? Talking about?
Everyone's recognizable in Erewhon. I went in there once and they were like, "Your credits are not good enough, pal. Get out of here."
If you never heard of Erewhon, I'm not making this up. I'm not exaggerating. They sell gallons of water for $24.95. Yeah. I'm like, this water must be made of gold.
It better like tickle you as you drink it. Like you'd be like,
oh, stop.
Yeah. I pulled up into the parking lot and they just like some guy got in front of my car was like, turn it around. Turn it around.
You need to leave, sir. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that car doesn't cost 6 figures. Get out of here. I'm like, Tony Khan, I'm a shill. You gotta pay me more so I can afford to go to Erewhon.
Right. Food for less is that way.
Yeah. So we get to Sunday, and this is what I call SummerSlam Uncensored, because every match is a hardcore match of some kind. We start with the 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the Tag Team Championship. Champions Wyatt 6 go up against Andrade and Phoenix, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. I believe this is the most people that have ever been in a tables, ladders, and chairs match all at once.
Yes. I think, TLC 3 had 4 teams. This has 6.
So that's crazy. Who wins, Flobo?
So that happened. I was in the stands when it happened, and SummerSlam was already a stacked card. But for Nick Aldis to come out, and I know about not last week, but 2 weeks ago, you were saying, hey, look, the SmackDown tag team, the ranks are fine, but there's room for improvement. But Nick Aldis is going out there and be like, I'm putting 12 of you people in bodily harm next week. I was like, what?
Bodily harm?
This could potentially steal the show. And there's teams I forgot about, like Motor City Machine Guns. I forgot they were still around. So this could really be the one that everyone talks about after the weekend's over.
Bodily harm, by the way, the lost WWE pay-per-view, Bodily Harm.
Live. Bodily Harm in Des Moines, Iowa, on the beach.
This one's going to be a train wreck. I am going to be biting my nails like this the whole time because I'm going to be terrified for all the people in this. You could not pay me enough to climb the ladder in the middle of the ring while madness is going on.
Oh, yeah.
I think Wyatt 6 retain. They just won the championship, so I can't imagine them losing the championships this quickly unless they're like pulling the plug on the Wyatt 6. But what say you?
I'm with you. I hope that we see the 6 Wyatt member. That's what I'm hoping for this matchup. If there is going to be, I know it's not SIX, it's SICKS, but I would love to see what that 6 Wyatt member would be. But yeah, I think they have to win this one to really establish things. And I think it's really more of a feature of like, look, we haven't really forgot about tag teams, but we want to make sure that we have this plan for them.
Who, if just for funsies, if you had to throw someone in there as the 6th member, who would it be?
Who is going to be spooky enough to do it?
The returning Big E.
That'd be kind of cool if you can do it. I think practically it would be Tyler Bate because now Pete Dunne has another job.
Oh yeah,
so Tyler Bate would be the one I would pick.
Pete Dunne's other job.
You know what? I don't even know. I've heard rumors.
No, yeah. Who could be? That's a good question for the comments in the chat. Who would you make the sixth member of the Wyatt Six if you had to add somebody? Danny C says bodily harm. I thought that was WCW 2000.
This Sunday at Mayhem, it's bodily harm against the Natural Born Thrillers.
That would fit in just perfectly with and it would be like one member of the No Limit Soldiers and
right. Jay Leno, right?
Jay Leno would be in the group. Chris Bricks you think the third Americano is Pete Dunne?
I think it is. I mean, so I've heard.
There's only one Americano.
It's true. Who's that?
Grande Americano.
Oh, fair enough.
Chris Bricks says it looked like Ray to me.
Ray with the red beard?
he dyes this thing every now and again.
He does not dye that thing ever. Look who's coming out the sky. R-E-Y.
Do you think Billy Kidman would be in bodily harm? Speaking of
ever courageous.
And Tank Abbott with his cutout.
The hard punch? Oh my God. Oh, that's so dumb.
The golden age of pro wrestling, folks. That would be a fun retro. We should do a retrospective or whatever. We just go through and watch the year 2000 of WCW and just look at the madness that was on there.
It is a trip, and not in a good way.
They averaged a world title change every 2 weeks during that month.
Makes sense. Yeah, why not?
It's like an insane number of title changes during that year. I can't remember, but speaking of title changes, Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Flobo, Dominic Mysterio is. I use hyperbole a little bit sometimes when I talk on this show. Dominic Mysterio is the most entertaining person in pro wrestling right now.
Which is wild.
Because we hated. People forget we hated him for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was the NXT trip against Andrade, and it was like, oh, you're Ray's son. And Dom is on another level. I mean, in Triple Law this week, he was clearly the most guy that was over at that show. But AJ has to win this one, man. Like, here's somebody who took major losses. He put Logan Paul over at WrestleMania. He has to win. And I hope he does win because he's been chasing that title for a while.
Yeah, if he loses, he's going to look kind of silly. After trying so hard to get this match, and like praying for the match and all this other stuff, to lose, especially someone like Dominic Mysterio. But I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win.
Whoa!
I think he's
clean or like a schoolboy.
No, it'll actually. Dominic Mysterio is going to leave with the title, is what I'm going to say.
Fair enough.
So it might be a DQ situation or whatever, but I think Dom leaves the title. But yeah, man, Dominic Mysterio, like, it's so weird to go back to when he had short hair and was teaming with his dad. We were like, he needs to go back to NXT. He doesn't get it. Like, it's lame. Remembering he had that match with him and his dad against Brock Lesnar. We're like,
yeah.
What are we doing
Twin
here?
619s, yeah.
And now I'm like, dude, give this guy anything and he'll make it so entertaining. And he's just been, most entertaining guy in pro wrestling by a mile.
That does sound like one of those challenges. Like, hey, listen, I can promise you all the wealth and all the adoration you want, but you have to call your dad a deadbeat. Would you do it, Jack?
Yes.
Yeah, Dad, you're a deadbeat.
Dad, you're a deadbeat. Like, I do it for a Coca-Cola.
I'll just put the bag of money elsewhere then.
No, I'm a terrible negotiator. Ever since I bet on Goldberg, I'm on hard times, Flobo. I just do anything.
What the heck were you thinking, Ben Goldberg?
Let me tell you though, no one was more invested in that match than I was because I was the only one who bet money on it. But
right. I'm the wrong guy. Oh man.
I think AJ loses by some BS, but the feud continues, and then AJ wins on Raw or something like that.
Fair enough.
And then Kayla says AJ with the Kabuki Warriors was fire. AJ was moving like a young guy.
Agreed. Still hate that name. I don't understand what
yeah.
the Kabuki Warrior is, but because it is.
Yeah. Solo Sikoa, the champ, versus Jacob Fatu, steel cage match for the United States Championship. That I still feel like is a WCW championship, even though it's been a WWE championship much longer than it's been a WCW.
Dude, it's been like 25 years, man. Let it go.
No.
Let it go. I got to go with Solo Sikoa, man. Like I said, this guy had a thankless role being the OTC 2 or the Tribal Chief 2 after Roman Reigns. He finally found his footing. Jacob Fatu will be fine. He will find his own path. People love him. The theme song is also dope. I think Def Rebel's cooking once again, finally. But Solo Sikoa has to walk away with the win here.
What is the best Def Rebel theme song? That'll be the question for the chat in the comments section. I think Jacob Fatu wins. I think that
Def got a good one. Jacob Fatu, the remix Money in the Bank, the Ricky Saints has grown on me a lot. The Solo Sikoa, the I'm getting it all. Don't. Like that to me is good gym music.
Yeah. Yeah, Def Rebel does have a few good ones. It's just we don't think about Def Rebel when they have the good ones. We don't think of them when they have those like terrible ones.
Yeah.
Still, one of my favorite memes is when they say new Def Rebel theme, and it's like just some horrible like mishmash of sound and
because there's some people that totally got cut off at the knees. Like I will maintain Jada Parker should have kept the OTM theme and give OTM something else. This Miss Parker, it does not hit the same. I'm sorry.
By the way, she was like, when in her promo this week, she's like, I don't need anybody. I was like, didn't you have two fellas that were there helping you out for a while?
She had three fellas.
And you had 3 fellas.
she had 3 guys. Where's Reggie?
Where is he's killing it in GCW, I believe. But Kayla says, love the theme too. Just shouldn't be Judgment Day's music.
That changes every week. Judgment Day theme music thing. I can't even remember what Finn Balor's theme music is because when he came out in the Rumble, I was like, "Who's that?" Oh,
if he ever comes back as the Demon again and he comes back with his old theme music, I'm gonna lose my mind,
dude. I know that it kind of gets swept under the rug, but the year and a half or 6 months he went back to NXT. His second run as a Prince to me was amazing. Oh man, so cool.
Becky Lynch looks to defend the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship against Lyra Valkyria. If Lynch wins, Valkyria can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lynch is the champion.
Boring.
I have a theory on this one, but who do you think is going to win?
Becky Lynch. I like Lyra Valkyria enough. I like Ava Valkyrie more. She's the inaugural champ. You can't take that accolade away from her. She doesn't need to be 2-time. She needs to go out there and rebuild. I don't think the fans are connecting to her the way that people thought that they were, much like Solo Sikoa was. She has to find her own lane. She has herself separation from Becky Lynch after this weekend. She's something else.
I don't blame Lyra. We've had this conversation before, so we won't belabor the point longer. But I think that she wasn't set up for success, even though people would say she won a championship, but then she won the championship and then wasn't on TV and then was in tag match. It's just weird stuff. But I agree. I think Becky Lynch is going to win. My prediction is Becky Lynch is going to win. Lyra can't go after the Intercontinental Championship, so she helps Bailey win the championship from Becky down the road. Is my prediction. Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, triple threat women's world championship. Who's walking away with the gold?
The best way to do this is to have Rhea Ripley just destroy Io Sky and have Naomi slip in and win the title. Naomi is doing something that's the best part of her career. Years ago, we didn't think she could be heel at all. Proceed with caution. People are saying it in the arena now. So I'm not saying she's over, but the crowd is going with her. But I do think the story of Rhea Ripley never being Io is super valuable to use later. So I'll definitely have that play out there. But Naomi walks with the title.
We are parking our car in the same garage. That's exactly how I would see it too. So we will move on to the big main event. Big match, John Cena going up against Also, big match, Cody Rhodes in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. Flobo, it is kind of disputed, but who's going to win it?
The kind of disputed championship.
There's a world champion too.
Yeah, I mean, come on. By the way, matchup graphics, I'm okay with it. I'm not blown away by it this year, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I like John Cena. I like Cody Rhodes. If I had it my way, Cody Rhodes get the title. But hey, look, John Cena has 14 days left or 13 days left. It'd be kind of cool if he retained, and we actually have that like pressure cooker now of like who could possibly get the title away from him. What happens if he's run out of dates and he's still the champion? So I have John Cena retaining.
I believe Cody Rhodes is going to win, and I believe he's going to become champion. And I think that this is going to be John Cena turning face again.
No, what's with you people wanting him to be face again? You guys asked for heels for 20 years, man. He doesn't need it. He can totally be heel his entire run and then have a promo on Raw, and we'll say thank you, John. That'd be great.
I said that's what I think is going to happen. I didn't say that's what I wanted, but it is what I want.
What do you want?
And so if I'm predicting, I think he turns face. I think he has a redemption arc for his last few matches. And I got a feeling his last match will be the rubber match with Cody Rhodes.
What is it redeeming? Why?
His past 6 months of being a no good Nick.
But he's done nothing really nefarious, but like insult the crowd. You can apologize for that.
He cheats constantly.
Come on, Jack. I understand you wrestling people, you old fogies want their face John Cena.
Fogies is our word.
You fuddy-duddies want John Cena. But I wanted to be heel. Look, you wanted him to be heel. Let him be heel. He's a peacemaker.
I just don't think it worked. I think we all wanted to see it, and I don't think we're buying it. And I think we learned the hard way that we really just want to see a greatest hits.
You're fickle.
Yeah.
Fickle.
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
And I love that leather belt made out of the cow whose name I can't remember.
Stop, Daisy the cow. My God, I swear to you, that wood title still pisses me off. That is the last time a heel on a fictional program got me so mad of a wood and jade gemstone title.
That they left so much money on the table with that by not leaning into that more.
No, thank you.
It was so good. But that's what I think is going to happen. What I would like to happen is the last match I've said before is John Cena and The Rock, with John Cena getting the win, beating the final boss. But I think what's realistically going to happen is it's going to be Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes wins the rubber match for his last match. And I think that's where this sets up.
Fair enough. I don't hate any of those ideas. That's kind of cool that you have different options there.
But it'll probably be is John Cena versus The Miz, where John Cena gets his win back from WrestleMania.
You know what? I'm surprised they haven't done that on a SmackDown. I mean, granted, I would not pay money to see that, but Miz versus John as a redemption comeback tour, that'd be kind of cool.
Before we wrap up, who is still on the table that he has not had a match with that you'd like to see him have a match with before he retires that's available? So obviously no Adam Copeland or Edge or whatever, but just someone like anyone who you think you'd like to see him have matches with, assuming, again, we've only got, let's say you got 3 matches left out of him. We'll say 4.
Yeah. LA Knight to be my choice. I think that'd be kind of cool. That was something I would pay the virtual money to see.
Yeah.
But John is in a position where he can pretty much go after anybody and I'll be on board.
Yeah, I think if I could pick, like I said, The Rock, I think I'd like to see him and Gunther go at it. I think that'd be kind of cool to see. Everyone else, I mean, there's so many. You're like everyone really it would be a great option, but I actually wouldn't mind. The chat lighting up with Roman, of course. That's of course would be a good one.
Roxanne Perez, no.
You know what though? Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena would actually be a pretty.
That is peak house show. That is peak Sunday Stunner house show.
Like, yeah, maybe not build up to a big pay-per-view or something, but like that crowd would be insane for if they did it now, like while he's heel too against Dominic Mysterio, that crowd, that would be a turning point for Dominic Mysterio. They would be so into Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, and I wonder why that is. Are people down with the mullet? Is it down with the fringes? Is it him looking like Eddie Guerrero? Like, When did we decide that we hate this guy? Nah, he's great. We love him now.
I think they said it on Cody's podcast. What do you want to talk about? And they're just saying he's just so cool. Like he's just a cool person. I think there's something about him. He's so funny, and he's so I don't know. This character is just I can't put my finger on it. It's just you kind of root for him because things go his way, but he's also kind of lucky in the way it goes his way.
Oh yeah,
like the way the girls fight over him. But there's that part of you that's like.
Why?
Like when you see, like if you see Chris Hemsworth and girls fighting all over him, like, screw this guy. Ugh. But then you see the guy with the mullet and and he's eating chicken tendies and girls. I'm like, I love this guy. I relate to him.
He's the only person I know that was heel and turned more heel. Like in the last, like he was with Rhea as a heel, and he's like, I'm with Liv. You're like, wait a minute, do we still boo you harder now?
Right. He's just fun. Like he's fun. Like everything he does is fun. It's fun to have him on. It's fun to boo him. It's everything he does is just entertaining. He's great.
Yeah.
But this has been a pretty long show, so we're gonna wrap it up. Danny C with the right answer. Akira Tozawa.
No.
Austin Theory.
He's injured, but I will let you that.
But that does it for the show. Everyone, I want to, again, thank you so much for joining. If you could, again, hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, 5-star review. Again, the shares are really important for us. We're trying to get some more interviews on here. Let us know who you would like us to get on the show. Would you like us to get some maybe indie wrestlers on here to interview them, or promoters or things of that nature? Maybe some just folks in the business. And if there's anyone you'd like to see, let us know. Flobo, where can we find you online and all the stuff you're working on?
Yeah, you know what? I'm on that justicesandwich.com. Look more at justicesandwich.com. It's my weekly blog. And if you're on that Instagram, follow me at Flobito, Flobito. Last week in this time, I was on a quest to see all 30 Major League ballparks in baseball. Finished my quest, number 29 and 30.
Oh.
Cleveland and Cincinnati. I'm done. Way expensive. Not do that again. But check out the photos at Instagram at Flobito.
Congratulations. That is a pretty cool accomplishment. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to do that. You can follow me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. And you can check me out on the podcast Heat show, Massive Heat, with Raj Giri and the Blueprint, Matt Morgan, as we cut it up about all things pro wrestling. Also, you can check me out at Championship Wrestling. I'll be ring announcing on Tuesday. So if you're in Southern California, we're at Oxnard. But you can also see the show anywhere. Check your local listings or check it out on YouTube. I will share those informations at Real Jack Farmer. That does it for us. Flobo, any famous last words?
Do your best and be yourself.